Good evening, folks. This is Deb. I'm making this video because I'm seeing a lot of comments on Facebook and other social media sites. It indicates to me that an awful lot of people don't understand what the Democrats can and cannot do to change this situation, or even how government works. So this is a little civics lesson. First of all, let's start with the new DNC election, because the first post I made was that David Hogg won a position as a vice chair, which is a good thing. Okay. It's a good thing. He's a progressive and he will be important as the party moves forward. The first comment I saw under that announcement was, and what are you going to do to stop all of this? He's going to do not one fucking thing to stop all of this because he is not in the government. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for message development, fundraising, outreach, candidate selection, and other such activities. They are not elected by the people, empowered by anyone in government to do anything as a legislator would be. So that's the first thing you need to understand. There isn't a goddamn thing that David Hogg or any of the other people who were just elected to the DNC can do to change what's going on with Donald Trump in office. Now, let's talk about what the Democrats can and cannot do. The Democrats do not have any power at this time because the voters delivered Donald Trump a trifecta, which means he controls the White House, the Senate, and the House. They are outmanned in the House and the Senate. They have a 3-seat deficit in the House, and I believe a 4-seat deficit in the Senate. So, in other words, to block any of Donald Trump's selections for his cabinet positions, they would need 4 Republicans to cross the aisle and vote no with the Democrats. I don't know what you expect them to achieve here. So what they could do was spend 30 hours on a filibuster to delay the confirmation of Russell Vought as the head of the OMB, Office of Management and Budget. But they do not have the power to stop him from being confirmed, because even if they all vote no, the Republicans have more people in the Senate. If it turns out that a couple of Republicans vote against somebody, has happened, okay, then the tiebreaker is our esteemed Vice President, J.D. Vance. On Hegseth's vote, he was the tiebreaker. Hegseth was confirmed. Much as Kamala Harris, as the Vice President, was the tiebreaker on many votes that enabled Joe Biden to get things passed. Okay? Now, people on social media tonight, Bernie Sanders, there was a post about Bernie Sanders saying that what Elon Musk is doing is illegal. And the first comments I saw once again was, well, what are you going to do about it? He's not going to do anything about it. Because let me explain something to you. This isn't just a question of the fact that the Republicans have the majority across the board. The Democrats aren't empowered to arrest anyone, detain anyone, or jail anyone if the other side is doing something illegal. They're not. Could the Democrats move to impeach Donald Trump right now? Absolutely, for overreach. In fact, somebody in the House is filing articles of impeachment against Donald Trump for his comments on Gaza. It's not going to go anywhere because there are not enough people in the majority to impeach Donald Trump. This is what people do not understand. 77 million people voted for Donald Trump. 75 million people voted for Kamala Harris. The Democrats don't have any power to stop anything. They can obstruct, they can delay. Brian Schatz of Hawaii has stated that he will delay the confirmation on anyone being confirmed for the state positions. Okay? They can do that as a way of delaying. It's a delaying tactic. But at the end of the day, he's not going to be able to keep him out for 4 years, whoever that may be. All these cabinet members need is a majority of Republicans to vote for them. They're getting that. If the Democrats don't vote at all, they'll still be confirmed if all the Republicans vote. Just like Joe Biden's cabinet when he had the majority. Nobody could stop his cabinet members. And believe me, they disliked us as much as we dislike what they're doing. And we weren't even the bad guys. Now, understand this. People who are telling you that raising your voices and protesting, by the way, let me go back one more minute. What the Democrats are doing is showing up on the streets with the protesters. Chris Murphy was out there in front of USAID. There's a post out there tonight with legislators out in front of the Department of Education. Maxwell Frost is out there. Okay? Maxine Waters is out there protesting what Elon Musk is doing, stating that he is allowed inside, but we are not as elected members. He is keeping us out. The Democrats are showing up on the streets just like Joe Biden showed up and stood with strikers. Okay? This is what the people have to do. It's the people. What are you going to do, folks? What are you going to do? People have been on the streets in front of USAID for days. That's what has to be done. And anyone who's telling you that that stuff doesn't matter is full of shit. Because in Oklahoma, a legislator had to recall a bill that targeted special education because there were so many phone calls, so many protests, and so much backlash from teachers, students, and administrators. This is how it's done. These are the power that we have right now to stop Donald Trump. He is also being sued. He's being sued by many states for his birthright citizenship. 2 judges have now blocked his efforts. He was sued by workers over Musk being able to access our private Social Security and Medicare records. Elon Musk is now being blocked from doing that. This is how we fight back. It is how we fought back in the first Trump term, but nobody remembers any of that. But I do, because in my state, my current governor was the attorney general, and she sued Donald Trump more than 100 times. And right now, Massachusetts is also suing Donald Trump again. She's now the governor, but we have a new attorney general. People need to understand the power that the Democrats have and do not have. By the way, Jamie Raskin has stated that he will immediately get to work on articles of impeachment, real articles of impeachment, if he can get 2 Republicans to cross the aisle, to have the courage to do that. I'm going to suggest something to you folks. The real party you should be pissed off at is the Republican Party, which is nothing more than a fascist regime. They are rubber stamping and allowing Donald Trump to run amok. But you should not be surprised by that, because this is the very party that handed Donald Trump the keys to the kingdom. And every single one of them, including Susan Collins and the rest of them, are rubber stamping everything he's doing. That's the party you should be pissed off at. And that is not a lie. That is the party you should be pissed off at, not the Democrats. The Democrats are doing what they can. Are there Democrats that are pissing you off? There are Democrats that are pissing me off, like any Democrat who chooses to vote for any of his proposed cabinet members, like John Fetterman, the only Democrat to vote for Pam Bondi. Okay? And there have been others. But you know what? You take issue with those legislators. You do not throw the Democratic Party out. The Democratic Party isn't a cult like Donald Trump's party is. So you're going to see this once in a while. Get on your phone, Call these people and tell them you're unhappy with that behavior. They need to hear from you. What are you going to do, folks? Because this is on us too, not just on them. We are the architects of this misery. More people voted for Trump than voted for the person who would have kept this democracy alive and never allowed any of this to happen. In a million years, this never would have happened had Kamala Harris been elected. There's one party to blame here. It's the Republican Party, the party of fascism. Everybody needs to understand that now and to stop being distracted by the woe is me attitude. It's time to fight. I will talk to you all later.